Good morning, EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Martin here with your outlook for March 12th, 2019. For your Tuesday, expecting a continuation of the mostly sunny skies that we saw yesterday. Big difference between yesterday and today will be the temperatures will be about 10 degrees colder for high temperatures today. So yesterday we were in the low to mid 50s. It actually turned out to be a little bit milder than we expected with that warm March sun, and today we're expecting low to mid 40s for highs, so that is slightly below average for this time of year. We should be mid 40s or better. So not really cold, but certainly colder compared to yesterday. But that is going to turn around, it looks like, here on Wednesday. As this high pressure continues off to the east, it will give way to partly clouded, partly to mostly sunny skies here again on Wednesday. We got a warm front off to our north. We're going to have winds coming in from the southwest on Wednesday, which will get those temperatures back up to what we saw generally on Monday. So very similar in a lot of ways to the way Monday played out here on Wednesday. So one day of the colder temperatures, if you will, today for about 10 degrees lower than yesterday, but right back into it on Wednesday. And it's going to keep going up from that point. Once we get to Thursday, we will have an increase in clouds during the day as the system off to our west is actually a cold front. I think it stays off to our west. Here is looking at late in the day here on Thursday and Thursday evening. Nothing going on in our region, but you will have an increase in clouds ahead of this frontal boundary moving eastward. But we're going to have some very warm temperatures coming in out ahead of this front, and it's going to stick with us on Friday. Matter of fact, it's going to peak on Friday, and I think a lot of areas are in the 55 to 60 degree range here on Thursday, and then in the 60 to 65 degree range on Friday for high temperatures until this front completely moves through. And even though you're going to be dealing with some showers on Friday, I really don't think it's going to hamper temperatures too much, or hinder them, I should say. Here is actually after midnight on Thursday night. We have some showers coming in, just some light shower activity. You see, this is not a real big deal, just some light showers. Can't rule out a rumble of thunder. Somebody asked me that on Twitter. I can't remember who that was, but somebody was asking about thunderstorms Friday. This is not really a thunderstorm type setup. I wouldn't be surprised to see, somewhere gets a rumble of thunder out of it, but it should just be non-convective showers moving through with that front itself, and that should move through later in the day. So ahead of that front, we're going to have some very warm temperatures again in that 60 to 65 degree range from north to south here on Friday. But then we're going to go back down to reality again on Saturday. Behind that front, we are partly cloudy, or partly to mostly sunny on Saturday, and then Sunday we are also mostly sunny, but temperatures will be back down to near to slightly below average. I think we're going to be in the low, in the mid 40s generally, either side of 45 degrees for highs on both Saturday and Sunday, it looks like. That's going to slightly below average temperatures are going to be with us from between the 16th and 21st. That hasn't changed, so we still have that time frame where it's going to be a little bit cooler, but we're not dealing with any major systems. There is a northern stream system that's going to try to come through here, it looks like, on Monday. Might give you a few, what looks like just maybe a light passing isolated rain shower, and that's it. I don't want anybody to get excited because I've seen a lot of different things on people messaging me today about what's going on next week with this big storm around the 20th supposedly. The Canadian model showed something, and the Eurocontrol showed something. Eurocontrol is not the European model. Okay, and I see we see all the models. We see what they do. We don't consider the Canadian, which is this. This is what it showed today. It had a big coastal storm here. This is actually on the 19th, and it had a snowstorm here in the interior. This is not the pattern, folks. And when I do these long-range forecasts that I do every single Friday, I do it 2 additional times in the forum on Monday and Wednesday also. And then the Weather Weeklies video we're doing throughout the winter on the winter season on Sundays, which just ended last week. When I go through these long-range outlooks, I'm not looking at models to come up with these projections. The models are just there to support the ideas of things that I'm seeing, wavelengths and Rossby waves, things like that. There's a lot of different things that go into it. Tropical forcing. I'm looking at observational stuff, things I can see, and then we're extrapolating downstream of what we think is going to happen as far as periods of warmer and colder temperatures. Okay, I'm not looking at models for that. I look at models as a secondary thing to collaborate those ideas. So when I see these things on Twitter and Facebook, and people asking questions about a big storm on the 20th, and the winter's not over yet, we're getting a big snowstorm because the Canadian says so. Well, that's not how it works, folks. This is not the pattern for this time here, and the Canadian, I think, is completely lost, and will probably lose that idea. Most likely it will very soon. K8 is not a very good model to use regardless, but especially not a day 8 or 9 or whatever this is. Okay, so I do think that we do have a cooler than average period between the 16th and 21st. The differences between cooler than average now versus cooler than average in January are two different things completely. Okay, so your average highs are generally near 50 or maybe in the low 50s in that time frame between the 16th and 21st of March. So if you're slightly below, you're kind of 45 to 50. That's not cold enough for snow. So this is not something that I think is happening at all. Okay, and just because a model says so doesn't make it right. Okay, so we're still going with the same idea, very fast progressive flow, and we have a very in and out, like a 5-day window of slightly below average temperatures, but we're talking maybe mid to upper 40s for highs. Not conducive for a snowfall or a big snowstorm. That is still the case. Nothing's changed. And I still think after that point we start to moderate once we get to the 22nd, 23rd to start turning to slightly above average temperatures and then continue in that direction through the rest of March and then April. I'm EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Martich. That is your outlook for March 12th, 2019. Have a great Tuesday.